What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today's video is about a new program. As always, you can find the programs I have or I showcase on the channel in the link in the description below. This specific program was made because a couple of days ago, as you know, our favorite Frenchman uploaded a pilot episode for his bodybuilding series. The goal of that specific video was to try out the format to see if it works or if it doesn't, if people like it or not. But in that specific video, NH showcased two sessions he did while on vacation with minimal equipment. I think it was rings, a band, a random piece of wood he found, and shitty plates. And for these specific sessions, I know that the goal was probably to just remain active and have a lot of fun, and I think that's fine, but they gave me an idea. I personally would have done things differently if I were an H, so why not make a complete wildman training program? And basically the main points that I used to build the program was that it uses minimal equipment, so basically rings and bands, but the bands are going to be used as little as possible. I think that bands complement rings pretty well because rings can be tough on the tendons and bands help with tendon health. Also with rings you're going to get a nasty stretch in most movements, and with bands they're concentric focus, so I think that they work pretty well also for lower body. Then the second point is that the program should be flexible regarding time because NH did them while on vacation. So I'm going to offer a program that has both the chance to work as a regular bodybuilder with just your body weight, and it's going to also allow you to have sessions where you just do the main thing, do it fast, and get out of there as fast as possible if you're on vacation again. Or if you have another type of thing that restricts your schedule. The third point is going to be that it implements supersets, because usually when I implement supersets, I do it from my own point of view of having two pairs of rings. I actually have three, but I use just two pairs of rings, and that makes things way easier. So this is not a new experience because I have done this in the past, but it's an added level of difficulty. Then a fourth point, which is going to be as effective for upper body as a regular bodybuilding routine, and I'm going big emphasis here. Try to work your legs as much as possible with just bodyweight calisthenics and bands, because of course, if you want to maximize your leg growth, calisthenics is not the way to go. So this specific program is called Breath of the Wild. I just wanted to be cute with the name. And now I'm going to jump on my computer and show you what the program is and how you should run it. Okay, now we move on to the program. Something I want to clarify beforehand is that there are two versions of each session. Once is going to be a regular version, and the other one is going to be a more time efficient version. The time efficient version is going to basically remove some of the isolations and some of the less relevant things, because it's assuming you just want to hit the main muscles and then just leave. And on top of that, you use advanced techniques to accumulate high amounts of tonnage in a small time frame. The regular version is planned out as a more regular bodybuilding session. This program is a 5 times a week split in which you're going to hit your upper body, and on the regular version, you're also going to hit your lower body on every single session. This is because when you train with weights, 1 to 2 sessions is more than enough because you have access to heavy compounds, and usually you also work in the lower rep ranges. But because with bodyweight calisthenics you don't have that, you have to make up for it by increasing both volume and frequency. You're going to see in the time efficient version that there is a method by Alpha Destiny that allows you to make up for the lack of intensity. But we're going to get to that eventually. Now we move on to the training week. Let me zoom in a little. There we go. Basically, the 5 times a week split is going to have different emphasis. First, we have chest and lats. Then we have quads and upper back. Then triceps. Then we rest. Then we have again quads and upper back, and then chest and lats. Because there are two versions of the sessions, sorry, you're going to be able to play around. If you want to do 3 time efficient sessions and then do to regular, you can do them. If you want to do the opposite, if you want to alternate between regular and time efficient, you can do that. So play around with it however you like it. I personally would prefer if you do more regular sessions because they have more movements, more isolations, and it's going to prevent any type of imbalances. So without further delay, we're going to start with the first session, which is going to be chest and lats. Keep in mind the supersets, I plan them out in a way that you basically, I assume you have just one pair of rings and that because nobody's as idiotic as I am to get three pairs of rings, just one pair of rings and you're not able to basically hang off the thing you're hanging the rings. So I assume you're hanging the rings off of a tree branch and not a pull-up bar, because it would be pretty cheap from me to just tell you, hey, yeah, just superset ring push-ups and pull-ups, right? So we're going to make this a little bit more difficult and not be able to do that. So the first superset is going to be ring push-ups, leaning forward, and Bulgarian push-ups. 5 sets of 6 to 10, and once you fail, you're going to do a 1 to 2 beyond failure techniques, either rest pause or mechanical drop sets. This is because ring push-ups are a very milkable movement, if you will. In my experience, I always push my ring push-up sets to failure, and then I do either some type of rest pause. I don't do a lot of mechanical drop sets. I haven't been doing them recently, but because I do full RTO push-ups, and for that specific movement, I think you benefit more from rest pausing. Same goes with Bulgarian push-ups. But you can still do mechanical drop sets if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. If you have something to elevate your feet on, I think that it's a good idea, especially if you're doing just regular ring push-ups leaning forward. Then we move on to ring hamstring curls or band good mornings, 4 to 6 sets of as many reps as possible. This is basically because with band good mornings, you're not going to be able to go 10 to 20. You usually are going to be in the 20 to 30 zone. So I just put AMRAP, assuming you just have a very limited amount of bands. With ring hamstring curls, I'd say that this movement is pretty underrated for training your hamstrings with just rings. I'd say it does the job fairly well. The only problem is that you can't really progress outside of adding reps. But I don't, or just going one leg at a time. I wouldn't say it's a big issue, but most people can't like get 20 reps on this movement, so I think it's fair. Just work your hamstrings, don't neglect them. Doesn't matter if you're just doing calisthenics. Then we move on to one leg calf raises, either on a deficit or just from the floor. And again, 3 to 4 sets of an AMRAP. Yeah, work your calves. Like there's no excuse. You don't really need a lot of weight to train your calves. Then on the second superset, we have ring pull-ups, 4 to 6 sets of an AMRAP, leg raises, and then once you finish off your leg raises, you're going to just hang, just a dead hang. I think it's a pretty complementary superset. You could, even if you have the grip strength, you could do your pull-ups, then you let yourself hang and do the leg raises, and then you finish off the remaining time with the dead hangs. That could work. And yeah, because you already have the rings put on a certain height at pull-up height, you can basically do these movements to not waste having to move the straps. Then we have the third superset, which is going to be ring face pulls or Y raises, 10 to 20, 2 to 4 sets. I think that Y raises are very underrated. They are the bodyweight equivalent to lateral raises, but they are even better. At least I myself think so, because they stretch the shoulders a lot and the traps on top of that. So you get a pretty nice stimulus overall. The same goes with ring face pulls. And you're going to, for at least not in this session, but later you're going to see that you have the ability to do mechanical drop sets with the face pulls or with the Y raises. So it's pretty nice. And then we follow that up with either one-arm ring curls, pelican curls, or ring extensions or band extensions. As you can see, because we have 2 chest and lat sessions, you may want one session to prioritize the biceps and the other one the triceps. I don't see anything wrong with that. Or you could do just 2 of the sessions the same with triceps or with biceps. With the one-arm ring curls, I have to say, although pelican curls are amazing, these ones deserve some type of recognition because they're tough. They're tough. They're not regular ring curls, which are very easy. These ones are actually really tough, and I really recommend them if you don't like pelican curls. You're going to get a pretty nice stretch on the biceps. Then of course, here we have the rep ranges. Then we move on to the second session, which is going to be quads and upper back. So the thing is here we start off with a vertical press because on the previous session we didn't do any type of vertical pressing. So we're basically going to alternate between horizontal, vertical. Then we have horizontal here again. As you can see, this one is a little bit more arm biased. Now you may say that there's going to be overlap between the ring push-ups and the ring pike push-ups. I'd say that yes and no because ring push-ups are very chest biased. Unless you are like a little bit different than I am, I basically when I do my ring push-ups, I feel only my chest. Unless I do a very pseudo planche E type of movement. Unless that's the case, I usually just feel my chest working and my shoulders are completely fine, and I'm able to do vertical press the next day. So I don't see it as an issue. And in this type of session, you can do again ring pipe push-ups, wall assisted handstand push-ups, or a log press, 6 to 12 reps for 3 to 4 sets. I'm not going to ask you to do any type of beyond failure stuff on vertical pressing because in my opinion it really doesn't make sense with the movements we have here or in general with vertical pressing unless you have like the wall assist handstand push-up is it may be a good candidate to try beyond failure techniques like just mechanical drop sets. Like instead of being super upright when doing the handstands, you start like making turning it more into a decline push-up. You can try that, but outside of that specific case, yeah, vertical pressing is better just done to failure or 0 reps in reserve. I think that's completely fine, and you superset that with pistol squats or shrimp squats. Now, I would recommend you doing them like grabbing onto the rings or like supporting yourself on something because of the balance aspect. I wouldn't actually tell you to just do it freestanding, if you will, because the balance is going to take away from your ability to push to failure. So just hold on to something and do slightly higher reps. It's not going to be a big issue. If you want to be a complete masochist, you can try doing one leg, then go into the other leg, then go into the first leg, and like that, switching back and forth to do your 4 to 5 sets. That's going to allow you to accumulate a lot of volume in a small amount of time. And I think it's going to be better for you to push to failure. That's just an idea that I'm throwing out there. Then the second superset is going to be, of course, we have to add some type of ring inverted rows, 5 sets of AMRAP. The reason to why such high volume is because I think that inverted rows are very spammable and they're going to give you a pretty good back stimulus. So yeah, do as much as you want from them. I would actually even tell you to just do as many sets as you can, but just putting a number there makes it more clear to where you probably are going to land. Then we have sissy squats, 3 to 4 sets of as many reps as possible. You can even use bands, so you can do them pendulum style. That's going to completely fry your quads. So that's a pretty nice movement. You don't need a lot of weight for that one. I'd say that just body weight's tough enough for most people. Then we follow that up with band neck extensions. I wouldn't recommend bridging, to be honest. I know that you can technically train your neck with just your body weight, but I wouldn't recommend doing bridging. I think I did neck bridges in the past, and yeah, it's not really good. So and it's not really safe. So avoid it at all cost. Then we finish off with ring Kelso shrugs. Shout out to fast lifts. But yeah, they're tough on the traps and they're a good way to keep the scapula healthy as well. So do your shrugs. Then we follow that up with ring reverse curls. These are brutal. If you have tried them, you know that I would say they're even better than the easy bar version. I would compare it to seated yes, seated hammer curls in the way they feel on the forearms. Because of that rotation aspect you do with your wrist when you go up, yeah, it absolutely burns like a motherfucker, and they're pretty tough. And again, you can do mechanical drop sets with this one if you want to. You're not going to accumulate that much fatigue. And then we follow that up with band neck curls. Again, more band neck work. I think that's going to be pretty fine. Work your neck, don't be an idiot. And then we have the last day of the regular version, which is going to be your arm day with a triceps emphasis. So first we have the ring dips or diamond push-ups, 3 sets of AMRAPs. Following that up, because you already have the ring dips, yeah, you already have it at a certain height that is ideal for inverted shrugs. At least in my experience, you're at the perfect height. So you superset ring dips with inverted shrugs, and then you already are at the perfect height also to do LC chin-ups. That spinal flexion is going to allow you to target the lats better. They're absolutely brutal. I can do 15 pull-ups, no problem. But LC chin-ups, I can barely get 8, especially if you slow down that eccentric, you pause at the bottom, and then you pause at the top. It's going to absolutely drop your reps to almost 0. So yeah, definitely do this movement. If you don't want to, maybe your core isn't strong enough yet, you can try ring pull-ups either in a neutral or supinated grip. You just get yourself on your knees when you're doing the pull-ups to avoid your feet hitting the ground. 3 to 5 sets of as many reps as possible. Then the second superset is going to have some type of band tricep movement to warm up the elbows for the ring extensions, because those are a bitch on the elbows. So we have some type of band tricep movement, and then we have pelican curls or one arm ring curls, going beyond failure, either partials or mechanical drop sets in the case you're doing the one arm ring curls. This is basically to obliterate your biceps right up the get-go. So you basically warm up your biceps with the chin-ups, you get some blood flow there, and then you move on to the pelicans. Then we have the face pulls or wide raises to target your shoulders. You already have the rings at curl height, so why not add some extra upper back / deltoid work. Then once we finish off the superset, we move on to ring extensions or band extensions. If someday you come in and even though you warmed up, your elbows are not feeling that good, just do band extensions. I think that's fair game. You superset that with ring hamstring curls or banded good mornings and one-legged calf raises. So for the extensions, you basically want to do rest pause until you match your first set, and then do 1 to 2 mechanical drop sets. So this would be like myo rep matching and then doing a mechanical drop set on top of that. I know it sounds crazy, but with ring extensions, you can actually pull it off. It's absolutely brutal. It's going to be masochistic as fuck, but it works, and yeah, it's very effective. Now, if you don't get DOMs after this, you have my respect, to be honest. Now we move on to the time-efficient version of the program, in which we feature a lot of intensity techniques. So first we start off with chest and lats. We have ring push-ups with a 3 to 5 minute cluster set. So you basically put on a song or a timer, and you do sets of, in this case, for cluster sets, I like to do your 10 to 12 rep max. You basically cut it in half, and you do sets of that. So let's say you can do 10 reps of ring push-ups. You do sets of 5 in sets with small rest intervals in between. That's how you do a cluster set, and you try to accumulate as many sets as possible. That's a cluster set. So then we move on to ring pull-ups, either pronated or neutral, and we have 3 rep goal sets. Rep goal sets are basically you pick a number. So let's say you can do like, I don't know, 15 reps of pull-ups. You can do 15 reps, you pick a number like 20 or 25 in this case. So you basically start doing the pull-ups until you fail. Let's say you fail at rep 15, right? You're going to rest pause it until you reach the number you chose. So in this case, going to be 25. So let's say you get like, I don't know, in the first one, 10, right? You're going to rest pause until you get those extra 15 reps. And yeah, it's tough. It's very intense. And yeah, it's going to absolutely fry your back. You should definitely try it. I have done them with wide grip pull-ups. Well, not super wide, but wide grip pull-ups. Forearm still diagonal, and they're absolutely um, they'll absolutely obliterate your back. Let's just say that. Then we have pelican curls, and we move on to ring curls. Now, hear me out. What you're going to do is 2 to 3 sets of you reach failure with the pelican curls, then you do 1 to 2 mechanical drop sets, and then you finish off with ring curls to failure. Actually, Croissant has tried this, and he basically has a love-hate relationship with this type of setup because it is going to give you a massive stretch. It's going to make your biceps super sore, okay? And on top of that, it's going to pump them at the end with the ring curls. And you accumulate a shit ton of volume in a small amount of time. So I really recommend you try it. Especially with pelican curls and with ring curls, you have that ability of do mechanical drop sets. Imagine doing this in the gym. You hit failure, and then you have to pick up 2 extra sets of dumbbells to do, and then an extra set of dumbbells to do the other variation. It wouldn't actually work. So make the most out of the rings and do this type of thing. We are going to do a similar thing for the face pulls, 2 to 3 sets to failure. Then we do 2 to 3 mechanical drop sets, and then we finish off with baby partials. I know it sounds crazy, but once you tried it, you're going to see that you can actually pull it off, and it's tough as balls. Then we have leg raises, which is 2 sets of 25 as a rec goal set. And this is just to hit your abs because I myself started training my abs, and I have to say it's a very important muscle group for aesthetics. I would say you could alternate. You can have like leg raises and then have like twist leg raises to work more of the obliques. You could try that. You can do like 15 as a rep goal set on each side. So you can do 1 set of leg raises and 1 set of twist leg raises to get a complete ab workout. Then we move on to the quads and upper back day, in which we're going to be doing jumping squats or squats. And this is the technique I previously mentioned, is going to be the prisoner style workouts. So you basically start off with a number between 25 and 30, and you do that amount of reps. So in this case, let's just choose 30, right? You do 30 reps, you rest for 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then you do 29. Then you rest again, the same amount of time, and you do 28, and so on until you reach 0. It's impossibly difficult once you start doing it because you're accumulating a lot of reps. It's 465 reps if you do the 30 starting number. And you can progress on this by either adding weight, doing the other variation like the jumping squats, reducing the rest time, adding reps. So you start off with 32, 35, and so on. And it's going to get you very conditioned, but it's also going to give you a pretty decent leg workout. I would say this is equivalent to doing 4 sets of squats, maybe 3, depending on how strong you are. So yeah, I really recommend it if you are not able to do heavy squats or heavy deadlifts. This is going to give you a pretty decent leg stimulus. Then we move on to a 5-minute cluster set of inverted rows. I have done this in the past, and it's pretty good. It feels pretty nice. You can also play around with the rings because you can rotate the grip. So you can do maybe you start off with a set of pronated, then you move on to a set of supinated, then a set of neutral, then you do a set of rotations. You start off with pronated and rotate to supinated, then rotate from pronated to neutral, and so on. You can try different grips. You can widen the grip, shorten the grip, just to play around throughout the whole cluster set and allow you to get those extra sets. Pretty tough. And again, this is just if you don't have any time and you want to absolutely destroy your back, this is the way to go. Cluster sets. Then we have the first superset of the workout, which is going to be Band-Aid Good Mornings, 6 sets with an AMRAP plus a rest pause, because if you can see, we don't have the frequency aspect, so we make up for it by doing Band-Aid Good Mornings for high reps, and on top of that, we do a rest pause. We superset that with neck curls and neck extensions on the bands, of course, 10 to 20. Then we have the triceps, in which we start off with band extensions or band pushdowns with, again, another cluster set. This is going to absolutely destroy you. Then ring pull-ups, again, rep goal sets. the pelican curls and the face pulls, which is what we previously mentioned. And then we have ring extensions, 2 to 4 sets of 8 to 15. I'm not going to ask you to go beyond failure because with the cluster set, I think you have more than enough. So then we move on to the notes in which I explain this in case you don't want to watch this video. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed the program. If you want to leave me your thoughts comments in the comments below, I'll be glad to hear them. And yeah, thanks for watching.